today?
What, sir?
Shall we let Tanishwar to start today?
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, Tanishwar, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to present, share the screen?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get it.
Right, then you can start. Host permission. I have to make him a host.
So now we can go to security to let participants.
Sir, when you go to share screen at the bottom, there should be an arrow there, and then you have to select multiple screen sharing is allowed, so I can screen share too.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it. I think you can do it. Activate it.
Yes, sir. Okay. I just need to open it.
Take it, take it.
Everybody see my presentation about the evolution of technology. So, what is technology? It's something that is made with scientific knowledge and it's designed to help with everyday life for us. And it could be as simple machines, like in the bottom right corner, or it could be as complicated as using like electricity and doing all that stuff. And this presentation is about how we have improved and how we got to where we are today and how we have improved and innovated all our designs. So, do we know the first technology? So, one of the most revolutionary inventions was the wheel, and it's unknown who invented it, but it was invented a long time ago, and it's one of the most important things because we see wheels every day, and it's very important. And then like because we use it for transportation and it's just used for other things. And technology is something that's like beginning to be used since the beginning of humans. And some could argue it was like a spear to like get animal meat and stuff. And it could be bows and arrows, which is like a simple machine. And we don't know which one the first one is, but it all began somewhere simple. And yeah. So, okay, so I'm gonna be talking about everyday life like a long time ago. So I'm gonna be using ancient Rome for this. So ancient Rome's they had like the best technology when they were living in, and they're the people who introduced the concept of apartment buildings and how houses are supposed to be shaped, and they also had the first proper education system, and they were known for their architecture and aqueducts. And aqueducts are long tunnels that are like shaped like bridges and they carried water. And like this made it so like the Romans they had like heated swimming pools and working water fountains. And then around like 476 AD, which is a long time ago, and on the bottom right hand corner that's what an aqueduct looks like. And uh another thing was along there were like wars were also fought a lot, so weapons and armor would also be technology type kind of. So and like the tools they created to create the weapons and armor are also technology. And you know for travel the empires usually use boats or ships to carry people across a specific place. And there wasn't much faster travel in that. and communication also didn't exist that well, but we do have that today. So here's when electricity comes in, because that's when after all like the good stuff got invented. So one of the founding fathers of the United States, Benjamin Franklin, he was the first person to discover electricity by doing an experiment to connect lightning with electricity. And uh the electricity, it's very important nowadays, and is one of the most important. It wasn't really an invention, it was just a discovery and how people used it. And the first invention made with electricity was the electric light bulb, and it was invented by Thomas Edison, and now it's used almost everywhere, even in my house. And before the electric light they had gas light, and gas lamps were like unreliable compared to electric lights because like of the maintenance, and owners they would keep having to like refill the gas inside of it, and you know it could be a hassle sometimes. And electricity after that was preferred by most people because you can't go and refill electricity, it just comes from like an electric block, and you can just flip it on and it's gonna work. And this means you wouldn't maintain, and turning it off and on it would be easy. And gas lamps they also had carbon dioxide emissions, and which is the leading cause of global warming today. And the 1900s were the industrial age of the world, and that's when many useful things were invented. But this was also where World War I, World War II, Cold War, Vietnam War, etc. were. So a lot of gas was being used in the military trucks and army planes and helicopters, and even rocket fuel during the space race. And then we're in vehicles. So Carl Benz was the first person to create a moving automobile, and with the use of a combustion engine. And cars today are the most popular way of travel, and these were also made with the use of gas. So and then like the person that really like distributed cars and made a business out of it was Henry Ford, which is in the bottom right hand corner. Uh he popularized cars even more, and he had his own business and it was booming. He made a lot of money and a lot of cars were on the road, and this also meant that there was a lot of carbon dioxide emissions. And the Wright brothers invited the plane, and the Russian government made even more planes, and every country that was involved in World War II also created more planes, and that was even more carbon dioxide. So some one pattern here is that what we were doing was we were just getting it was just a lot of carbon dioxide. And yeah, and then now we're at the part where the first computer was invented, and this is when the first computer got popular. And apple was like Apple created the Mac like after like a few years after all the wars ended, and it was the first ever computer to fit on a table. And on the bottom right, that's what it looked like. And Apple is one of the most important companies when it comes to digital technology, such as computer and phones, and they're kind of like they're the reason it became popular. And then Microsoft also got involved in computers, and they were like the most successful in terms of like an operating system that was like user friendly. So yeah. So this is also when like video game consoles were made, and then they only exist because like a person named Fusajiro Yamauchi saw someone play with their calculator, and this created a company called Nintendo. And then Nintendo was the leader of video games for many years. And then after this, a company named Sony, which you may have heard of. They made a console named PlayStation, which was also successful, and soon after Microsoft created the Xbox. And all three of these are still like very popular today. And then this is when we get into phones, and phones were like most phones at the time were like small, and they were like indestructible like a Nokia, and they were probably like flip phones which are only used for talking to or messaging to other people. And this is also where Apple steps in and creates the iPhone. Um, the iPhone was the first ever user-friendly touchscreen phone, and it offered a camera and like maps and a browser and calling people and emailing people, and it was big at the time. And Apple actually used the processor of a Samsung phone for their first phone, but then after that they started creating their own, and now they're the richest company in the world with a net worth of almost $2 billion. Not 2 billion, it's like $2 trillion. I think that's a typo. And then this is the 21st century, and many things have changed. We live in a very modern lifestyle, and we have running water, electricity, light, and heater, and etc. in our houses. And we really have evolved from what humans began with. There are many other technologies that were not mentioned, and they have equally improved. But yeah, in conclusion, our technology will be getting better and cheaper. And things such as gases are changing because, like I said, they emit a lot of carbon dioxide, and electricity is what we're trying to do. Electricity and recycling, so we don't pollute the planet too much. Like Tesla, all they do is create electric cars, and SpaceX, they're trying to create reusable rocket ships, which is cool. And then here's just a comparison. On the left, on the top, that was a 5 megabyte hard drive in 1956, and then on the bottom, that's a 1 terabyte. So you can see the difference of how big it used to be and how small that is. And that's my presentation.
Good job, Nashor.
Thank you.
I specifically liked the final slide that you showed. No, it's just a 5 MB hard disk and the 1 terabyte nanotechnology chip that you showed. That was really good. Jayaprakash,
Thank
do you
you,
have
sir.
any questions? Yeah. Jayaprakash, do you have any questions towards Tanishwar on his presentation?
No, sir, no.
Anybody? Mitra has a question. Siddharth, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Right, we'll start with Mitra.
Thank you, it was a very good presentation. So I think that you are given a chance, okay, by sir, not by any supreme power. So supreme power means like God or any other supreme power. Natural power, let's imagine it is a natural power. That is giving you a boon. That is, you have mentioned about 6 to 7 technological stages, like the ages. Like in one, it was the normal flipping phone, while one it was the invention of wheel and spear, then the other thing was electricity. If the natural force or natural power, whatever you call it, asks you to choose one age or one stage in which you could live. For example, I could wish for living in the flipping phone age, for example. So like this, you can choose any one. This is not really an example. Like this, you can choose any one stage, and you have to give a brief explanation why you are choosing that age.
So I would choose the age where like the wheel was invented, because first of all, it's unknown who invented it, and it'd be cool to see who invented it. And there's also a reason, because there's a lot of mills and they use wheels to get energy. And so if you can get energy from things like wheels and stuff, then then electricity probably won't be required. I mean, it's easier to use electricity, but like you can still get energy from wheels. It's just not as much. So I would go see the wheels.
Smart choice, I should say. Siddharth, good question.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Siddharth, your question.
Okay, sir. So, Taneshwar, good job on your presentation. My question for you is, you know how in the past, how the size of one like megabyte and now 1 terabyte smaller? So in the future, do you expect it to be much smaller for sizes that are much bigger than 1 terabyte?
Well, it depends on what we choose to do, because if it's gonna, it depends on yeah, it depends on what the companies are gonna do and like what other people are gonna do. So that's how they are gonna decide it. Like currently, it's this small, and I feel like I feel like it can't be like too much smaller unless like we find a way of like squeezing wires in there. But it is possible. It's just I don't think it's gonna be happening anytime soon, because like those hard drives on the pictures I showed where the guy was holding it in his hand, you could get up to 8 terabytes on that, but it's very expensive. So the thing is, so it might not be getting smaller. They're only like focusing on like the processors and stuff right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, that was a good question by Siddharth and a nice answering by Taneshwar. Now, Yalvendan has got a question, and then Sibi has also got a question. Yalvendan.
How first, how they get electricity?
How did they get electricity at first place? Evolution of
So
electricity.
so one of the people that wrote the Constitution of the United States, his name was Benjamin Franklin. He was doing an experiment to find the relationship between electricity and lightning. So I think he made it so like lightning hits something, and then like that's where he found that electricity could be used as energy.
Okay, right. Good. Nice. Sibi.
Seeing a phone and gaining knowledge from it, and someday going, he was playing in games and he addicted into phones and media games. And the parents come and ask him, you will come to see not reading. That time you will not be reading.
What will you do if a person is getting completely addicted to smartphone and he is wasting his knowledge? Specifically, Sibi Adityan is asking a solution for his own self.
Uh, get time management and create a good schedule, because if you're spending too much time on games, you won't do anything else, and you'll get a bunch of you won't do all your homework for school, and if you slowly get addicted, you will start to fall behind, and your parents will get mad at you. So yeah, just get good time management. That's it.
All right, that was a nice answer. Now, Asathaman is holding up a question.
So first of all, it was a very good presentation, Dharana. So my question is that when suddenly one day you see that everything there is no no electricity, no technology. Suddenly everything is like you can say supernatural power needed or something else, whatever you name it, but something has happened and you can't depend on electricity now. Everything has rolled back to the olden days, like you have to get to depend on fire for light and like that. Like, what will you do? Do you feel happy for it or do you feel bad? That's the
I
question.
would feel bad for it, because like I'm already used to like having a lot of these things around, and I feel like if they got take like I'm already used to it, so like if I feel like they got it taken away, and that would be a little boring, because I haven't like lived like this before without like anything, and that I would have nothing to do either. I before I would at least do homework or something, and then now I wouldn't be able to do anything and submit anything, and yeah, that's about it.
So can I
All
say
right.
something?
What is it, Siddharth?
So this kind of adding on to what Taneshwar said. So if someone
Sure.
is like completely addicted to their technology and like they're on it 24/7, if their technology is like suddenly removed for some reason or the other, then they might start going through withdrawal. That's when body it's like when you're addicted to it, but then you get it taken away, your mind goes through things, your body goes through things. You feel the urge to take it back at whatever the cost it may be, hurting someone, doing things like that, or some other things. So it's better not to be addicted and just like use it like normally and not get addicted to it because that would be dangerous.
Right. And in addition to what, that's a nice question, by the way. In addition to what Siddharth has added for Asothaman's question, lots of other things will get, remedied, I would say, I would add rather. Like cancer will be reduced, diseases will come down. And you see, the basic level of, in the past 2 decades, cancer has been an aggravated disease because of only technology, right? And the funny part is cancer can be treated only with technology, chemotherapy, right? So as Asuthaman asked, and as Taneshwar, and when Mitra was asking a question, Taneshwar mentioned that he would like to go to the Stone Age, that is the wheel age, when wheel was a big technology. And when you go to that level, and when you go to that, stone lightning level, as you rightly mentioned, the thought process, the perspective, and the human living mechanism, everything will go for a change. Survival instinct will become more strong. Okay, right? It is better than I get up, I walk, and I do something for light. It's always better than having a remote and making the light switch on for me, right? So maybe at that moment, just because of the remote, I'm happy, I'm feeling comfortable. But if I get up, I go, I walk, and I bend down, I take a stone and I light, then my complete endorphins work, fitness work, ergonomics work, and my anatomy works, and I become healthy. Right? So the more ancient you go, the more safer and healthier you will. That's why the organic food shop has become a very big business unit right now. People are taking the ancient food and they have renamed it as organic food and they start selling it. So the more ancient you go, the more fit you will be. One
So
last
I have something to add on to that, but uh like if you like go like a long time ago, like ancient, your lifespan is like a little shorter because you're not getting like the shots you get at birth and you're like exposed to a lot of things. And I read online that it's that the lifespan was like lower back then, and like people only lived up to like 30 years old in the
Oh,
old.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Even
that's one particular age, maybe. Yeah, complete what you want to complete.
and also King Tut, like he was like the king of Egypt. He became king at 9 years old, but he died at 18 years old. Just 18.
Okay, right.
He died because he
Anyways,
had some kind of disease or some curse.
a curse, more than a disease, curse. Those days, curse was traveling very, very faster. Today, karma is traveling very slower, but curse and karma during those times, it was very, very faster. It was acting like a super lightning speed boomerang. And God was giving the punishments and the kind of judgment very, very faster than the current days right now. Okay, so before we go on to Siddharth Saranatkumar's presentation, I have a question to Taneshwar. So Taneshwar, you spoke about technology today, evolution of technology, and the slide choices were so good. We thoroughly enjoyed your presentation by watching. Now, my question is, do you think humanity will be put into test because of too much of technology? For example, if you take Jayaprakash, who is the senior most here, he is learning engineering management. Now, engineering one stream and management is another stream, and now he's learning his master's in combining both engineering and management. Why does he learn engineering and management? Because he needs to arrive at a proper combination of both technology, that is engineering, and governing it, that is management. So do you think technology getting advanced and advanced and advanced, it will eventually overtake man's intellectual property. What do you think?
I think like most of it already is, because like it's much faster than a human. Like if you learn something yesterday, and if you try to think of what you learned, and like if somebody types it on Google, that Google search is gonna be faster than your brain. And you know, I feel like it's already like a little faster with like calculators and stuff, and it's only going to get faster because they're companies, they're constantly trying to improve their computer parts, so it is faster. And I feel like one day it will be like completely like smarter than like a human, and you gonna have to, yeah.
It's a great way of answering, and today you made a very good presentation. Yes. Yeah.
Sir, like in the future, sir, I think wheelchair should be like a computer, sir. For instance, sir, if Spanish Anna said our memory power itself will decrease, sir, and working, sir. So that I think will be like a technology for like a memory card, sir, for our own self, sir, and for processes for our own self.
Correct. Correct. I totally agree with the point. Good job. Well done, Tanishwar. Very nice presentation today, and I really appreciate your tenacity. Good job.
Thank you
Great job,
everybody.
Nashwar.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, everybody.
Good presentation, bro.
Thank you, Anna.
Good job. So, Siddharth, the curtain is rising for your presentation. Come on, buckle up.
Okay, sir. I need to find it first.
Take your time. Take your time. Tanishwar, I'm happy with the kind of improvement that you have showed, the kind of spirited way of speaking, and some energy that you have brought in your presentation style is really good. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
So once we finish up with Siddharth's presentation, we are going to finish the unfinished business. Jayaprakash was the leader for a theme that was given. Yesterday, the girls have presented their view. The girls' view is not going to come anywhere equal to your thinking. So, Sibi and Yalvendan have been explaining things. So, incorporate all that. Dakshin is not here today, so you have to do it.
Sir, if I have time after
You can present. You can present. Having 3 people from the other country, you will play here. What will I do with them? Hello, cells. Okay, Siddharth, you can start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, sir. Hello, everyone. Today I will make a presentation on HeLa cells. This is something I learned recently about in my biology class. I didn't know about it before. It looked interesting to me, so I did a presentation on it. So, what are HeLa cells? The word-for-word definition found online was human epithelial cells of a strain maintained in tissue culture since 1951 and used in research, especially in virology. That's the definition I found online. That didn't really sound helpful to people who didn't know what most of these words mean, like me. So I put my own definition underneath it. They're pretty much immortal cells that keep growing and keep splitting up to make more that can be used to make more or to be tested on for drugs, vaccines, or other medical things that could be harmful to humans. Most cells in the body die after many hours after mitosis, which I will explain in some later presentation in some other day. But HeLa cells are different. They have the ability to make sure that when a cell is close to dying, they get re-energized and they continue their cell division cycle. So they just make more cells and not die, unless it's killed by some outside force. They won't die by age though. And how did we find these cells? In 1951, a young mother of 5 named Henrietta Lacks visited the Johns Hopkins Hospital, complaining about some body pain. Upon examination, renowned gynecologist Dr. Howard Jones discovered a large, malignant tumor on her cervix. At the time, the Johns Hopkins Hospital was the only one of only few hospitals to treat poor African Americans. As medical records show, Mrs. Lax began undergoing radium treatment for cervical cancer. This was the best medical cancer available at the time for this terrible disease. A sample of her cancer cells retrieved during biopsy was sent to Dr. George Gay's nearby tissue lab. What Dr. Gay would soon discover was that Mrs. Lack's cells were unlike any others he had ever seen before. Where other cells would die, Mrs. Lack's cell doubled every 20 to 24 hours. Today, these incredible cells, nicknamed HeLa cells, from the first two letters of her first and last name, are used to study the effects of toxins, drugs, hormones, and viruses on the growth of cancer cells without experimenting on humans. For many decades after Mrs. Lack's tumor removal, she did not have any idea for what or how her cells were used. Although Mrs. Lack ultimately passed away on October 4th, 1951, at the age of 31, her cells continue to impact the world in many ways. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you. I know it's a short and quick one, but it was like a quick story and something interesting I found. So thank you for watching.
Right, good job.
Great job, Siddharth.
Good job, bro.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah,
So 2 weeks ago, when the last week of class I showed up, didn't you say you're gonna make like 2 presentations or something?
yeah, you did.
Oh.
I was asking you if it was possible, and both of you said it was possible. But Danish
Uh,
was specific.
sir,
Ah,
you told us to make a longer one than usual, not 2.
not 2. Okay, right. So, anyways, no problem, because we don't have time to. It's my responsibility to keep both of you engaged each time when you come in the weekend with the presentation. Now, any questions? Yeah, okay, yeah. Aswathaman has got a question for you, Siddharth.
So first of all, it was a very nice presentation. So my question is that you said that the ladies, she had like cervical cancer, and some samples of it was sent to lab. And when he saw that, the scientists mentioned that it was like any other people's cells. It kept growing, but every one of them has the same type of feature in their body commonly. But why do only her cells keep on regenerating, and he hasn't seen other people's cells not getting regenerated? That's my question.
That is something that the doctors themselves are confused about, and they don't know how to explain it completely. That's why it's not known to the world that much because they haven't released data on it. But as far as I learned in biology class, it was mostly because it was a tumor cell. So it just kept growing inside our body from the energy it used. And I don't know any other way to explain it. It's a tumor, it's a cancerous tumor. People want tumors to get like removed from their body because it's not good for them, it causes them pain. But hers were different because her cells, they did not just die off after a few hours, but they kept surviving, so she had them removed. That's how much I can explain from what I've learned.
Okay,
I don't think it answered your questions fully though. Sorry.
that's okay, that's okay. Yeah, Tanishwar, you can ask your question.
Okay, sir. So that was a good presentation, Siddharth. And what do these cells do in the body? Like, what's their cell process, and what do they help with, and what organ are they part of?
Which one? The tumor cells or the cervical?
The HeLa cells.
Oh, the HeLa cells, they don't help the body. They're like test subjects, lab rats, except they're not human. So you know how they make vaccines, wonder how they get tested, what they get tested on to figure out if they're dangerous or not. I don't know if they work. So it's pretty much
Oh,
like that. They give the HeLa cells the disease, like right now, COVID-19. They would give the HeLa cells COVID-19 after taking it out as a like test subject from some other patient. They give it to the HeLa cells, then they try their vaccine on them to see if it works. And then they test it multiple times to make sure that it's safe and doesn't harm the cells. And after they've done that, they get approval from I forgot the name of the people, but organization, and then they're released to the world so that they can use it.
Okay.
So that in 1950s, the vaccination, the vaccines, the vaccines for plenty of reasons. So the vaccine that is used as a cure for cancer disease, the vaccine that is used for growth hormones, the vaccines that is used for, run down the infection and all that. Vaccines, evolution started in 1951. Those days, people used dead cells, they regenerated those dead cells and they took some membranes out of the cells and they prepared vaccines. And now we are conspicuously seeing vaccines being created in loads and loads and gallons for preparing the boost vaccines for surviving COVID-19 pandemic. So vaccine creation in itself, is it a kind of a dangerous process of holding dead cells and fabricated cells? As per your biological awareness, what do you think? Biological science awareness, what do you think?
It could be dangerous if they don't take care of the cells after it's failed their test. So if you give it some kind of disease to it and the test doesn't work, they would have to make sure that it's completely dead and will not revive again, so that it's not a danger to society. And then
Right.
they would just, after they remove it, they make sure to remove it in a scientific way. I know the exact one, but so when you go to a vaccine, they have the special box that says biohazard, and that's red for the needles after they use for vaccines, right? So it's the scientists have a special place where they put those kind of stuff because they're related to biological stuff that could change the environment in some ways.
I see. Okay. Right. Any case, good job, Siddharth. I really appreciate you for your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Well done,
you.
Siddharth.
Thank you, Sunashwar.
Siddharth Yalvendan has a question.
Oh, yes.
What is the cells do?
The HeLa cells?
The cells are good. The cell is good for our body and bad for our body.
So, what cells are good for the body?
He is asking if the cells are good or bad in the body. Cells, it doesn't mean about good or bad, being good or bad. Cells are there going to be in your body.
நம்ம பாடியோட பில்டிங் பிளாக் தான் cells.
பாடியோட முக்கியமான பேசிக் பிரிக் செல்ஸ் தான். நீ அதெல்லாம் புரிஞ்சுக்கோ. ஃபுல்லா புரிஞ்சிட்டு கொஸ்டின் கேட்கணும். கேட்கறதுக்கு வளர்க்கணும். Okay? Right. Good job, Siddharth. I really appreciate your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Well done, Siddharth.
Thank you, Sunashwar.
அப்ப அவங்க பேசுறது நம்ம ஸ்பீக்கர் மூலமா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நம்ம பேசுறது கேட்க நம்ம ஸ்பீக்கர் சொல்றது
கண்டிப்பா கேட்கும். அவங்க மூணு பேரும் வந்து டாலரண்டா அதை பொறுத்து.
ஃபீட்பேக் அவங்க பேசுறது.
Yes. Whatever Siddharth, Tanishwar and Jayaprakash speak, this is audible in the speaker. But each time I cannot click switch off the speaker. Okay, Jayaprakash.
Yes, sir.
So you can finish your unfinished business. Now the presentations are over. Yesterday you were preparing, minus Dakshin Siddharth. Today Dakshin Siddharth is not here. So you can guide around and you can make it as a skit. So what you do is you need not go outside and all that. You four can use this laptop itself and finish your game. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No
problem. So Mitra, as per plan, you can start.
Okay, so later you'll give an open narration.
Yeah. So we're just trying to complete. Okay, Tanishwar, Siddharth, and Jayaprakash. Whenever you feel I'm not audible, just raise your hand. I will understand and I will adjust the voice accordingly. Fine.
Okay,
sir.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Mitra, make sure the mic is facing towards us. That's perfect. So it is trying to compete. We are in desperate need of solutions for Rav, Christian, and Balbir. So now, scene number 1. 2 people are going to act in this particular sequence. One is Siddharth. Siddharth is going to act as the competitor of Balbir. So Balbir role is going to be played by Mitra. So Siddharth is going to give a kind of insecure feeling, and as a competitor, Siddharth is going to threaten Balbir here. So now, when I say Balbir, it is Mitra. So Siddharth is trying to threaten Balbir, stating that you are facing so much of loss. And Balbir does not have a clue, because whatever Siddharth says, data-wise, it is correct. So that sequence is going to be enacted. And when I say freeze, both of you can stop, and then I will read the next character. Okay, enjoy this process, Siddharth and Mitra. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, Balbir, how is your company doing?
It's going really good, and I think it's in a little loss, but I'm very satisfied and contented with the work and the efforts my employees are putting in their business.
Sure. All that's good. But like, how much profit have you made so far? Like, it's been almost 2 years since you started.
Yes, you are right. The business has had lots of fluctuations. In the initial stage of my career in doing this business, I had more profits than I expected to be. So because before I started this business, I had lots of doubts if I could succeed in this field. But fortunately, I had many more profits than I expected. But profits and loss are very much common in business. That too in this field where I manufacture things and send it, and I go out to speak with people, loss is very much common, and I'm not feeling very bad about that.
I see. So, I just have a small tip for you as your friendly competitor. I'm telling you this from experience since I've been in this business longer than you. You should look at your data again since the beginning of your company started. There's some things that you might not like, but at the same time, that's your wish.
Greece. Now, Siddharth has mentioned about data, and now Balbir realizes that he has got almost a loss of 35% going down in the profit base. So Balbir realizes that and gets disappointed, and now slowly Balbir gets away from Siddharth. He dissociates from Siddharth. With that, the scene completes, and the next 2 people will be enacted. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go.
You are correct.
Inform auntie respectfully, and then go. அப்படிதான் வீட்டுல யாரும் சொல்ல போகுது.
Yes, you are actually right. I just now took a look on the data, and the only I came to know that 35% of my total profit has gone as loss.
I see. So what are you gonna do now? Gonna close the business?
Yes, I think I have to put even more efforts, and I think it's time for a board meeting in my company. So I think I have to leave now.
Oh, come on, I have to talk to you a bit more.
Excuse me, Mr. Balbir, we don't have any board meeting right now scheduled. You know, being your personal assistant, it's my responsibility to tell you. You can have the meeting continued, Mr. Siddharth.
No, I have board meeting just now. If you want to take a look at my phone.
I had been taking care of your meeting organizer, so there is no meeting.
No, suddenly I got a message from this a very important meeting, a personal meeting. I can't express everything.
Okay.
I have a meeting. So, Mr. Siddharth, we shall meet later, maybe next week or so, because I have a very tight schedule.
Okay.
So I have to leave now. Thank you for your advice, and here I will scale up in my business. Bye.
Right. Good job. Nice. Praise. Now that even the personal organizer of Balbir is being deceived by Balbir, low self-esteem, low motivation, and frenzied and fleeing from the public environment. Balbir is completely down. This is where Balbir kidnaps Siddharth's daughter, and now Balbir is calling Siddharth and asking for a 50 lakh ransom, and Siddharth, or the next competitor who is going to play the role, is so cool that the daughter is going to be in a safe way. And there Balbir is getting even more jaded. Come on, man, I'm kidnapping a daughter, and these people are not respecting me even now. So that's what is going to happen. Roles are being switched now. Jayaprakash will be acting as Balbir, who has kidnapped the competitor's daughter. And Aswathaman is going to be acting as the competitor. So Mitra's role is handed over to Jayaprakash. Siddharth's role is handed over to Aswathaman. 3, 2, 1, go.
So just give me a minute. Sir, actually now I need to express that situation, right?
Yeah, Aswathaman will answer your phone call. With that the sequence will start, and you will just act as Balbir, and you have kidnapped.
Okay.
Just mentioning kidnapped,
Okay.
just adding up a gimmick, and then we are coming to a solution. You are going to be the first person who will give Balbir's solution.
Okay, sir. Hi, one sec, sir. I'm just
Aswathaman.
moving out to it. Yeah. Hi, Ashwathaman. I just kidnapped your daughter here. Because I lose my every business profits and all. So I just need the money. If you want your doctor, you just give me the money and get back your doctor.
All right. So you're saying you kidnapped my daughter, right? And you just want 50 lakhs from me just for kidnapping my daughter. Without anything
50 lakhs.
of me.
Yes, from you only. It's your daughter, right?
So
Sir, it seems to be very serious. I mean, he's asking for a ransom of 50 lakhs, and you speak words like kidnapping. So you want me to call the cops, the police, for arresting your daughter?
come on, he's just a friend, just my friend, right? I don't really want it.
No, he doesn't sound like a friend. He's very nice. Look how super cool he is. He's kidnapped and he's all settled. If you're giving 50 lakhs, he will be all settled. So
Don't try to do any situations like calling cops and all. I see your daughter is in my hands. So don't try off any out methods.
I just said that I don't not going to call in the cops, and I'm too cool right now.
you mean that you're not going to take this guy seriously?
No, if I can the money he wants, I'm going to also run and lost, right?
Okay.
So, Baldu, good luck
Yeah.
on trying to not getting caught by anyone. Good luck
Okay.
on trying to keep my daughter.
You're seriously talking. Cause your daughter is in my hands. You don't have any other methods to you can't go to cop. They can also find me. I'm under a secured manner. So whatever your trying level is, that's a time of waste. So you just mark my words. You do only if you're giving your money, I'll leave your daughter.
I don't have friends.
Okay, freeze. Good job, Jayaprakash, and good job, Aswathaman. Now, we will stick with Jayaprakash, the leader of this entire scenario. And as you could see in the sequence, no matter how threatening Jayaprakash sounded, the competitor Aswathaman was keeping his temperament very, very cool. And he was so confident that his daughter is not going to be harmed by Jayaprakash. Okay, that is Balbir, I would say. So, Jayaprakash, now you did not enact things into the skit, but as a learner and as a leader of this activity, give us a solution for Balbir. What do you think Balbir should do? First, the competitor makes fun out of him. Second, he has incurred huge loss. Third, nobody takes the man seriously. Fourth, he has taken a risk and kidnapped the competitor's daughter, and even then he's not taken seriously. He's only looked as a clown or a buffoon. So a man's self-esteem will go very, very down if something of this sort happens. How do you think Balbir can bounce back?
Actually, so the full situations are under control of the Balbis, but he lost his mind. He lost his mind what he's doing, as he faceless laws in his company. Actually, the solution is from seeing from outside is that he should get punished from he should get punished for what he done, with the correct with the rest of being respecting laws, and he can bounce and after that he can bounce back in his business when he released after that punishment.
Okay, that sounds really good. Nice solution. Now, Balbir role is given to Thaneshwar. Thaneshwar as Balbir. I repeat, Thaneshwar as Balbir. So when I am calling Balbir, I am mentioning Thaneshwar. So Mr. Balbir, what is your solution now? The Thaneshwar will give his solution for Balbir. Come on, Thaneshwar.
Okay. The solution would be to try and get your business, like try and calm down your mind first, because you just lost a lot of money, and you're feeling very down. So, and you got to the point where you have to kidnap your competitor's daughter because you believe that he took all the money away. So in this situation, like, you should just calm down, because like the ups and downs happen in business, but like if you go to the point where you have to kidnap someone just to get money, then like you need help, and you should probably go to a doctor, or you know I don't know, like try and calm yourself down by like meditating or doing yoga, and then after that try and make your business do a little better. And that's my solution.
Good job, Thaneshwar. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Siddharth as Balbir. I repeat, Siddharth as Balbir. So, Mr. Balbir, people are pulling you down, people are running you down, and your competitor is not taking you seriously. Well, Mr. Balbir, apart from the losses, what kind of human effort you are going to take for filling you back into the market? The market has forgotten you as a businessman. So, what are you going to do, Mr. Balbir?
So for right now, I'm just going to ignore the people who are looking down on me, and then only listen to people who are trying to help me up or trying to give me advice or tips. And then for now, I will leave the market and do some side job, but I will return back after a few years after people have like forgotten about me or forgotten what I have done and these kind of things because I feel bad for doing them. So I will return after a few years when people have forgiven me more, and I will come back better than before and make sure not to make those mistakes again.
Okay, okay. Good job, Siddharth. Good job.
Thank you.
Role change now. Sivyadithan as Christian. I repeat, Sivyadithan as Christian. So speak as Christian. Okay, Mr. Christian, you are in the wheelchair, and we are so sorry to see you in the wheelchair. Your juniors, see, this guy is a junior, this guy is a junior, that girl is a junior, and you've got some juniors in the conference also. They're not listening to you, and if you are giving an idea, they're not listening to you. And what a kind of a fabulous fashion designer you were, but right now you are not respected. How do you think that you can handle this situation, Mr. Christian?
I will go and speak to them. And you are not listening to me. Then I will call the police and say this. They say this. You are not obeying my words.
Mr. Christian, how would you call the police to complain that some people are not cooperating with you? Police cannot write cases for that. It's your responsibility as a boss. Mr. Christian, have you gone case?
Then I will catch myself and I will call the police.
Oh, Mr. Christian, it's ugly, twisted mind. You see that you will harm yourself and you will go and complain to the police that Aswatthama did that for you? Oh, come on.
Oh, goodness. That also did not work. And I will be sad of it and I will say.
Mr. Christian, we need to change your name as Criminal Christian because your mind is thinking so criminally. Okay.
Then I will go and say to them my stories and all the things and I will.
Okay. Well tried. Good job. Now, Aswatthama as Christian. I repeat, Aswatthama as Christian. Mr. Christian, you were a fabulous fashion designer. And now the celebrities are looking for your service. The Instagram page, the Facebook page, and the YouTube channel is running so voraciously only because of you. But these people whom you have appointed as juniors just because you have got spinal cord problem are taking advantage. And more than that, they are disrespecting you. And we are really feeling so sorry to see your self-esteem put so down. So, Mr. Christian, you have also gone to an extent of committing suicide. You wanted to kill yourself. Thank God that the suicide committee, the anti-suicide committee saved you. How are you going to bounce back and what are you going to do for getting out of this rut, Mr. Christian?
I don't really know what I'm going to do.
Peter Robbins.
With Mr. Peter Robinson, I think I'll have to just search for some solutions, and my mind itself is not like that. And it just gives me thinking that I have to try suicide again. Just so bad.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. So if I'm one of your biggest fans, and if I request you not to get into such weird ideas of committing suicide, and I would literally wanting you to see to come into the fair, and even this shirt was designed by you, right? So if I want you to come back to the market, what will you do? Please don't pressurize yourself to go back to the decision of committing suicide. What's your solution for your own self?
So some of the solutions I corrected, I don't even know if they're going to work or not, or if I'm going to do them or not, itself I don't know.
Yeah, please tell us.
So
Let us all know.
just need some. I'll have to like cheer myself up, and I just need some positive things to get into my mind and cheering myself up.
Okay.
And do that, and I have to try to employ someone else. If they keep doing like this,
Okay.
they just get me crazy.
Okay.
So I think I'll have to employ someone else, and I think I also know a therapy known as alpha level. I think I'm going to use that.
Okay.
But I still think it's going to be really hard for me. But if you say that I should suicide much, I don't have any other choice than do this.
Good job.
I just need to do that to get out of the stage.
Well done. So Aswatthama, we have two choices. Now, Yalvendan as Christian. I repeat, Yalvendan as Christian. So Yalvendan, Mr. Christian. So yes, we are happy that you are going to try alpha level. We are happy that you are going to try some other interventions. But how are you going to get the respect of these people? These people, your juniors. What do you think a man should do for earning respect, in your opinion?
I will like what, sir? I thought
I will drive them away.
sir, I will drive them away and I will get some more work,
Some different people.
some experience and respected people, and I will give it.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, I like
You're talking as Christian? No.
Then I will not listen to them. If they are in trouble, and I will go and help them. So they will slowly the respect will come to us.
Right. That's a very deep idea. Good job. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, Yalvendan says I would try different people. Divyarithan says perturb and their mind towards you will change. Good. Both of you. Very good. Now, Mitra as Rav. I repeat, Mitra as Rav. Well, Mr. Rao, the three panel members called as Siddharth Chakravarti, Taneshwar Dharmendra, and Jayaprakash Ramamurthy. These three people have taken the Padma Shri award from your mentor. And you have got Mr. Asuthaman, Mr. Yalvikan, and Mr. Sivyadikan as your fellow executives. And you were considered to be the godfathers of these people. And these people have given some press releases that we are under the feet of Mr. Rao. But right now, everything has been toppled. The same panel which was proud to give you Padma Shri, in the name of the plagiarism and duplicate documentation, they have taken the Padma Shri back. As a media person, I would like to know from you towards India. India really wants to know, how are you going to bounce back? And you said to your younger sister that you would like to run away from this nation. So is there a way that you can come back, you can bounce back, Mr. Rao?
Yes, I have confidence because of the few influences I have got from people for the past 48 hours. I think I have to execute those solutions. I have got three people who really wanted me to be confident and face this problem because problems are very common in life. And the decision that I took by saying to my little younger sister that I'm going to run away is a very bad decision, and I regret for taking that decision. But I think I have to execute at least any of these three solutions. The first solution is I have a loyal assistant who had been working with me for out of 10 years. Is there any how much years does Rao have?
Rao has got almost about 40 years of this.
40 years.
4 decades of this.
Into the character. So he has been traveling with me for more than 35 years. For the first 10 or 15 years, I was working solo.
Once again, at any given point of time, if any of you would like to give solution for Rao or Christian or Balbi, you can put your hand up. I would be willing to listen to you. Now Mitra is giving her own solution for Rao being Rao. That's what is happening.
No one in ISR knows about this person, that is the loyal assistant. He has been working with me secretly. It was like an operation, and we were working so hard to release this research paper that it is very unfortunate that it has it has been said by other people as plagiarism. But the one thing that I would like to ask him is the one question that I would like to ask him after many years is to help me with this problem. If he could stand as a witness that myself and he have worked very hard to release this research paper, I think at least like 30% I'd be out of this blame. The second solution is I have thought to re-edit the research paper. So the facts that we have made are going to be thought even more with more evidences. If evidence and facts are proven in the research paper, no one would reject that. And the last solution is, sir, as this is the 1990s or something, sir, we have planned to interview, that is, give a speech here on radio, sir, so that we could admit how we went on with this process, and that could make people aware that we are not releasing the paper. That is very much stupid, sir.
Fantastic. Good job. Good job. Very nice contribution of idea. As Rao.
Well
done.
Taneshwar?
I was just saying good job, sir.
Oh, I see.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tanishwar.
As solution for?
Such
Solution for?
The solution for Baldi.
Solution for?
Wow.
Rao. Okay. Now Asuthaman, Sibi.
Yeah, for me, I am also Rao.
Okay. So we will hear from Asuthaman. Yes, solution for Rao.
in the character of Rao.
Please.
So
Louder.
I think I need some more motivation because I've seen many people trying to motivate me, and now I think I myself have to motivate myself to get out of this. And now that I know who did this, I could do something to change their minds.
But Mr. Rao, we are getting again inspirational with the way you speak, but telling your younger sister that you would like to abscond from the place, what kind of confidence level is that? Why would your mind think of something of that sort? And what are you going to do for ensuring that you are not going to think like that in the future?
Yes, just because like you know how big Padmasri award is and how much I really want such
You
award.
worked for, you really worked for, yes.
So how much that every single people wanted, and suddenly due to some people getting jealousy, just getting cancelled. Like it was like for 24 hours it was in my hand, and the next 24 hours it was just like somewhere else,
Okay.
out of my hands simply. So you know how I would feel, and so that's why even I did how much much hard work for that, and just goes out with effortless, and so it will be like that. So and I'd like to say that I'm not going to expect anything from anyone now. This is one experience that I just got to do my own, and I know again it might come to me.
Okay.
And the last solution is my friends has told me many things about like trying to get me out of this, and now I really like told one of person told me to think about my family situation, what they would do.
Good job. Nice set of solutions. Saman. Very quickly, we'll finish up with Yalvendan and Sibiyatan. Yalvendan as Rob. Yeah, Yalvendan. Yalvendan as Rob and JB as clap for you. Deborah as clap for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I will not. I will I will say to them, don't. I will again do the project and show you, and someone will be jealousy, and they need to get Padmasri award, so they might be copied me. So don't like sir.
Don't make me feel negative and don't push me down. You'll say them not to push you down, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will rebuild the map. Give me the paper, research paper, and say to them like someone will be jealousy to.
So don't listen to them. Don't listen to jealous people. Listen to me. I will work again and I will show you. I will prove you that I deserve. Right? That's all. Good. Very nice. Very nice. Right. Sibiyatan as Raf. Sibiyatan as Raf. JPS clap for you.
So, sir, I'm just saying I should say the raw solution, right?
Okay. Yes, JP.
Okay. Sir, actually, past happened, this happened, but he should not run away from the country or decline this process. He should continue, whatever may be the situations only change, but his talent doesn't change it for him. So he can make another new research project, which will be hearing by the whole world. So he can make a good proposal. Research paper, he can also regain that fame, and with the award which was declined for him should be get rewarded with the same person he has declined. So it will be a greater success story in his life now.
Right, and correct. So now, just like the Arvind, JP also thinks in a little bit more matured way that so JP Jayaprakash says that it has to be searched in the place where it is lost, and he should not be begging, he should not be demanding, he should not be pleading, he should be only earning. So I thought Jayaprakash sonar. Okay, so it has to be earned. Fine. Thank you. Good job, JB. Yeah, now you as Sibi as Rao. Again, Sibi as Rao. Yeah.
Sir, Rao was running, sir. I did running and then I would go on the cancel and ask.
When did they say Rao was running?
Funny to see that now he's running from India.
Oh,
come back and you will
get the Padma Shri award.
you will come back and I will say that again you study from first to first study.
So you want him to go to 5th grade?
You study from first to come to after that you want it you cross that level and that you will store in your mind also you can pass it easily. So you do first itself then you will study and come up and he can again with that level and he finds
Okay. Finds a way to bounce back and get Padma Shri award. Okay. Good job. Good job. I seriously like the part that when he is running away, he will go chase, catch him, and Siddharth as Rav. I repeat, Siddharth as Rav.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah,
Can you tell me again what's like the Rav's problem? I forgot.
Rav's problem. Yeah, if you are asking for Rav's problem, I would ask, yeah, Yalvendan, you can tell Siddharth what's Rav's problem.
Rao was researching a paper, sir, important paper, research paper, and someone want to get Padma Shri award. So someone copied Rao and after something Rao had a call like your Padma Shri award is cancelled because it is a duplicate award. Like that government told sir.
Padma Shri award, Padma Shri award duplicate award.
No sir, in the paper.
Yeah, paper.
Okay, sir, I understand now. I remember which
You
one it is now.
understood. Wow,
No,
Siddharth.
no, it's like it was like the duplicate research paper, and he doesn't get credit for it because they framed him somehow.
At the brink of getting the Padma Shri award from the governor, some conspiracy has happened against Mr. Rao, and they have looted the Padma Shri award and they declined the award to be given for him, and he becomes jaded. He's a very noble and honest man, but somebody was working against him, and as a virtue of that, he is trying to elope from the nation itself. That's Rao's problem.
Okay, sir. So for Rav, I had two solutions from last time. One of the solution was to just give up and like give up on the award and start a new research and make sure to keep it as confidential as possible so that no one can steal his work because they don't know what he's working on. And after he's done with that completely and he's sure it's gonna work, he can publish it to the world and then get the award again the next time he tries. Or the other option I had for him was like he could hire an investigation team to figure out who did this and then to find out why they did this, things like that, and then to prove to the government that they were wrong and that this award rightfully belongs to him, and then
Right.
get whoever did this like captured.
Right, that's a good one. Well done, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Last but by no means the least, we are coming season. Plug in the power points. Last by no means the least, we are coming to the end of this activity. Phone. Tanishwar as Ra. I repeat, Tanishwar as Ra. He can give his share of solution for Ra.
Okay. So his research just got stolen, or maybe it didn't get stolen, and maybe like some other one already existed. But if it did exist before, then like Siddharth said, I would just say to move on and do some other research and just admit that it's his fault for not like looking back and like making sure nobody else has like the same stuff as this. Well, if it was stolen, then you could do like some sort of like legal trouble with you could like hire a lawyer and try and catch the guy that stole your research, and yeah, and then you could try and get the award back which you worked hard for. Thank you.
I really
That's
admire
next
and yeah, I really admire and liked the solutions that all of you had given for those three individuals. Now, we're coming down to the end of today's session. Jayaprakash,
Yes, sir.
When is going to be your next session? Friday, right?
Yes, sir. Friday.
So this weekend class that you have experienced now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, are you okay with it?
Yes, sir.
Jayaprakash?
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. It's good, sir.
Right. And I find you very cool. Yeah, you're actually very cool. But when you are along with your juniors, you are much more cooler, and you are mutually encouraging your juniors. That's a very important point. It's a good act of leadership.
Thank you, sir.
So we are going to meet you after a week, Jayaprakash. Not only you,
Yes, sir.
also Danish and Siddharth. So I will send
Yes,
a
sir.
video, and please make sure that you make a presentation of the video by next week.
Yes, okay, sir.
And please continue three-picture technique, Jayaprakash.
Yes, sir.
Have any questions, Jayaprakash?
No, sir. No.
Anybody would like to give a kind of a feedback for Jayaprakash's performance? This is the first time he has joined you today and yesterday. So, feedback about his performance and a mutual positive feedback about his performance. Severe.
So Jayaprakashana, these 2 days were the first time we had seen your performance. Everyone except Dakshina, I think Dakshina had attended one of your sessions with sir. But I think all the direct faculties here who are present today, yesterday and today was the first preference with you, and your performance was really good. It's very tough to observe their junior kids because many people, I have seen many people, I have heard many people who do not tolerate their junior people being so intelligent, so saying so many ideas and giving solutions. But for in yesterday's session and today's session, you completely stayed cool and you also gave your part. And at the same time, in the discussion, you did not act like you are dominating us. As though you were the leader of our team, you were very cool and you were trying to contribute ideas. And also, some leaders might be very much cautious, or they might hesitate to ask about doubts with their juniors. But I felt very comfortable with you when you asked doubts or clarifications that you had in the team discussion. So your performance was really good, and go ahead with the same performance, and all the best for your further sessions.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The next opinion and feedback will be from Asada.
So Anna, like it's been just 2 days since I've attended with you now, but it feels like I have been there for so long time now, like more than 2 days now. So it feels really
Yeah.
really nice to be with you, and it's like feeling like bit like Dakshin.
Wow, yeah.
It feels like
Yeah. Thank you. You're also doing all good, sir. Yes.
One last thing, Sivyadhan and Yalvin, very quickly.
You are speaking very well now, and you are appreciating the excellent class and the class now for speaking well now. That appreciation you are giving, and that I like very much. Super.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yalvin.
I'm saying that Jay Prakash
Jayapurvi.
Yeah, thank you, thank you,
Right, so Jayaprakash,
thank you all, everyone. Yes,
good
sir.
job, good job. Siddharth and
Good
Danish,
job.
can you make a presentation? Then can you make a presentation next week, Siddharth, Danish?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, good. Dhaneshwar, your voice and the command is very much improved and I really appreciate that. Very, very nice.
Thank,
Great job,
thank you, sir.
Tanashwar.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, then Siddharth, Dhaneshwar, and Jayaprakash, we'll meet on Friday evening. And in between, if you've got
Yes, sir.
any clarifications, feel free to get in touch with me.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye,
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 Siddharth. Bye,
sir. Bye,
Have a
everyone.
Bye,
hi.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Staying
Bye.
strong. Bye.
Bye.
bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bro.
Bye, bye.